You know that feeling when your mind is just completely overloaded, like you're caught in this constant storm of information and it is exhausting? Well, what if the solution to our very modern problems isn't new at all? Today, we're going to dive into an ancient playbook to find some surprisingly relevant tools to reclaim our focus. I mean, it starts the second you open your eyes, right? Before your feet even hit the floor, your phone is already buzzing, already demanding a piece of your attention. And then all day long, it's just this constant barrage. Pings, notifications, emails, alerts, each one pulling your focus in a completely different direction. So it's no wonder so many of us feel just completely drained. Your mind is racing, you feel scattered, and trying to find any kind of real focus feels basically impossible. But what if the key to silencing all this modern noise isn't some new app or a fancy productivity hack, but a framework that's literally 2,500 years old? That's right. We're going to look at how Buddhist monks actually diagnose the core reasons our minds get so scattered. And, more importantly, we're going to look at the practical tools they developed to fight back. They called these barriers the five hindrances. You can basically think of them as the five main types of mental static that just block our clarity. And look, these aren't just random annoyances. They're a whole system that actively keeps our minds from settling down. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through each of these five hindrances, and we're going to uncover its specific time-tested antidote. We'll cover everything from endless cravings to crippling doubt. Okay, let's dive into the first hindrance, and oh man, it's a big one in our hyper-stimulated world. It's that mind that is always chasing the next thing. The problem is called sensual desire. It's that constant pull towards the next shiny object, right? The next notification, the next dopamine hit. The antidote, though, is surprisingly simple. You just actively contemplate the drawbacks. So instead of mindlessly chasing that pleasure, you actually pause and think about the stress and the sheer exhaustion that comes with that endless chase. And this image the Buddha used is so powerful. He compared this constant craving to gnawing on a chain of bones. Yeah, it promises satisfaction, but it delivers almost no nourishment. And in the end, it just leaves you tired and frustrated. All right, let's move on to the second hindrance, ill will. This is that corrosive feeling of anger, resentment, and frustration that can just completely hijack our minds. The antidote here is a practice called metta, or loving kindness. So check this out. The next time you're dealing with someone who's really frustrating you, the technique is to consciously shift your focus. You intentionally look past their negative actions, and instead you search for just one small positive detail. Maybe a single moment they were calm or something genuine they said. It's all about starving the anger of its fuel. Next up, the third hindrance, sloth and drowsiness. Oh, we all know this one. It's that heavy, foggy feeling when your mind feels like it's stuck in mud, and you have absolutely zero motivation. So the solution isn't to just give in to it. The antidote is to actively arouse energy. And it's almost like a physical prescription. Get up, walk around, splash some water on your face, or if you're trying to concentrate, just shift your focus to something a little more interesting for a few minutes to re-engage your brain. And this image just brilliantly illustrates what that mental state feels like. It's like you're trying to see your own reflection in a pond that's completely covered with algae. You can't see anything clearly. Arousing energy is literally the act of clearing that water. All right, let's tackle hindrance number 4, one that I think a lot of us know all too well: restlessness and anxiety. This is the classic monkey mind, where your thoughts are just jumping uncontrollably from one worry to the next. So what's the antidote? Well, it's perhaps the most famous Buddhist practice of all: mindfulness of breathing. When your mind feels like a storm of anxious thoughts, the goal is to anchor it to something solid, something simple, and something that's always there: the physical sensation of your own breath. And the crucial point here is its profound simplicity. There are no complex visualizations you have to master. You just pay attention. Mindful you breathe in, mindful you breathe out. That's it. That simple act is enough to pull the mind out of all those future worries and bring it right back into the present moment. And finally, we get to the fifth hindrance: doubt. And we're not talking about healthy skepticism here, no. This is that cynical, indecisive state of mind that just paralyzes you and undermines any real effort to move forward. What's so fascinating about this is that the antidote isn't blind faith. It is the exact opposite. It's direct investigation. The instruction is to not just believe what you're told, but to actually test it for yourself, to see which actions and which mindsets genuinely lead to good results in your own experience. This quote from a famous teaching just sums it up perfectly. You are encouraged to be your own scientist, and when you discover for yourself what truly works, that cynical doubt, it just dissolves because it's been replaced by your own direct knowledge. So there you have it. This isn't just a list of problems. It's a practical toolkit for mental clarity. For craving, you contemplate the drawbacks. For anger, you practice loving kindness. For that foggy lethargy, you arouse energy. For anxiety, you anchor to your breath. And for doubt, you investigate for yourself. You know, this isn't just ancient philosophy. It's like a 2,500-year-old guide to debugging the human mind, and it is more relevant now than ever. The tools are all right here. So the only question left is, which type of mental noise are you going to start silencing first?